Yo, what's up guys? Teacher Paul over here, and today we are reacting to a video which is from the Wall Street Journal. If you want to watch this video without my commentary or my reaction, link is in the description. So this was suggested to me by Hansi, and it's a very interesting topic. We're reacting to it because it says, hunting Russian spies in Norway's spy town. I didn't even know Norway had a spy town. So let's watch this and learn a little bit more about this. And if you are from Norway, let me know in the comments what you think about this. Let me know where you're watching from. You're watching this on my Nordic channel, so everything here is Nordic related. If you are interested, like and subscribe. We're also live on Twitch, so come support the channel over here. Let's go, guys. Let's do this. I'm going to use the big screen for this one, okay?
We're on the hunt for Russian spies with Norway's domestic intelligence agency, the PST. Regional Chief Johan Roldsnes is operating in a town right on the border with Russia. Both its ties to Moscow and proximity to key NATO bases have made it a focal point for covert operations.
It's very rare to get this kind of access, particularly in such close proximity to Russia.
For this
Hi Xavier, thank you for joining.
Everything with a link to Russia is treated with suspicion.
They call this spy town. They're following me. Everything what I do. When you get the kind of off feeling that some...
This is crazy. It has nothing to do with the video itself, but look at the...
Everything what I do.
Look at the saturation here. When I saw this saturation on his neck, I felt it was actually, it looks like it's kind of like a bloody neck, right? Am I right? So when I saw this, I was like, wait, I didn't notice it was saturation at first. I thought it was like kind of like he was coming out of battle, that type of spy, you know what I'm saying? Which scared me for a second there.
You get the kind of off feeling that somebody is doing this on purpose. This is not natural.
It's just weird. I swear we've seen this car on numerous occasions before. This makes
They're
you paranoid.
following you.
That's the whole thing about this place. You kind of imagine that you see things sometimes. You can't
Have you guys
help
ever
but
been there?
think that there's something weird going on.
Kirkenes is located at the eastern tip of Norway.
Beyond this fence here is Russian territory.
The red and green post marks where Russian land begins. The black and yellow symbolizes Norway.
Wait, so let me get this straight. If you want to go to Russia, do you need a visa or no? Are they part of the European agreement where you can travel?
Symbolizes Norway. Its proximity to Russia has made it a key target in operations to surveil NATO.
Last year, a Russian citizen drove for 14 hours to take photos of some military infrastructure, and he was fined and banned from Norway for 5 years.
Dang.
Elsewhere in the high north, Russians have embedded themselves deep in Norwegian society. Mikhail Mikushin claimed to be a Brazilian researcher named José Assis Maria.
What?
But while focusing on Arctic security at a university in Tromsø, he was actually a deep-cover Russian spy.
No, look at him. He doesn't look like he's a Brazilian. Do we look alike? No, come on. Don't answer that.
At a university in Tromsø, he was actually a deep-cover.
José Assis Maria. First of all, Maria is kind of like an Italian name. Assis, okay, I could say, but it's more of a Portuguese, like from Portugal. It's more of a European surname. And José is, okay, it's pretty common, but you could argue it's a little bit more Spanish than it is Portuguese. Okay, I'm stretching on the last one. I'm pushing a little bit. But did they speak Portuguese with him? You know, did he know about football? I'm kidding. I'm stopping.
Actually, a deep-cover Russian spy. This video shows the moment of his arrest in 2022.
It seems so kind of old school Soviet. It takes a huge amount of resources to use an illegal in that way.
Mikushin was exchanged in a prisoner swap in 2024 and was greeted personally by Russian President Vladimir Putin upon his return.
Wow, he's actually important.
In addition to cases of deep cover espionage, Hybrid tactics such as sabotage, cyber warfare, and arson are ramping up all across Europe. Authorities suspect Russia and its allies are behind these attacks. Norway's high north is particularly vulnerable to threats. Access to the Barents Sea provides strategic military positions in the Arctic and opens up a channel for Russia to reach the Atlantic. The waters are also a prime location for the fishing industry. But Norway says Russia is utilizing its fleet of civilian trawlers to conduct covert maritime intelligence operations.
We have a general assessment about all civilian Russian vessels posing an intelligence threat to Norway. They can be...
What intel do you think Russia is actually seeking in Norway?
a way to transport in somebody that wants to conduct a sabotage operation. Russian intelligence, what they're best at, that is using all forms of legitimate causes to exploit that in intelligence gathering. This is some of the port facilities. This is a deep water dock for bigger vessels.
I know they're trying to know what NATO is up to, but...
The port is only one of 3 in Norway the Russian vessels are allowed to dock at. And the problem for the PST, the concern, is that many of these vessels might be coming in to do espionage activities, to gather intelligence for the Russian state. And that is why they come here on a regular basis. They inspect the vessels, and they're always studying the identities of the Russian crew that come in to dock at this port.
Although this vessel doesn't appear to be suspicious from the outside, Johan can't rule out that those on board have links to Russia's domestic security agency, the FSB, or its military intelligence agency, the GRU.
And that's the kind of nefarious part of this, right?
Yeah, you can't make Russians outcasts.
No. Most of them are sailors, most of them are simply doing their job. They're here to make money and bring it back to their families. The problem is that you never know, right?
No, you never know, and that's part of the uncertainty.
Okay, I'm not a spy, and I don't know any spies. I wouldn't have told you if I were a spy, or if I knew any spies. But isn't it more suspicious if you tell people, like if you use a fake nationality, you tell people you're from somewhere where you're not, and then if they try to test you on that, you kind of give it away. I mean, there are very legal Russians living in Norway, as he mentioned. Couldn't they just be a Russian fisherman and then just be a spy anyway? Why did he have to go like and say, hey, I'm from Brazil? You know, it's very hard for him, unless he lived in Brazil, grew up in Brazil. I don't know. I'm just saying, isn't it harder for you to be a spy pretending to be someone or from somewhere so remotely different from your own, you know, accent, your own... I feel like if you're being a spy, you have to hide in plain sight. Okay, so it just raises less questions, I would suppose. Let me know if you're a spy. Don't let me know if you're a spy, but let me know your thoughts.
The police help to investigate the identities of those on board.
They are not, like we used to say, the normal Russian seamen who used to be a little bit older. This guy looks to be in very good condition, well trained, and more focused when we are on board, more interesting in what we are doing and the questions we are asking.
The ship came after 2022, when Russia updated its naval doctrine to allow civilian vessels and crews to be used by the armed forces in wartime. Most vessels travel here from Murmansk, the home of Russia's northern fleet and where many of its highly strategic nuclear weapons are located.
This feels like it's a very eerie video, though.
Agencies work in Kirkenes. We're going to meet resident Fröderberg. He's a former border guard who was previously convicted of espionage in Russia and is now convinced he's under surveillance.
I know they're following me because it's a Russian officer in FSB has told a man that they are very disappointed of me. I see sometimes Russian men on your age going in the evening, take photo different places in Kirkenes. They are everywhere.
During the 1990s, he befriended his Russian counterparts. They drank vodka together, skied, and even swapped uniforms and weapons.
It's kind of
They had
scary.
a bad time in Russia in 1990s. We need to help them many times with some equipments, but we
Henoik says Frodeberg, that case was a flop. It was a flop? How so?
get
I don't know about it. I think I
very
don't.
close
It sounds familiar
friendly
though.
cooperation.
Froder's closest Russian colleague, Anatoly Voznyuk, later turned out to be working for the FSB. At the same time as developing this friendship, Froder agreed to complete jobs for Norway's military intelligence. He dispatched money and memory cards in envelopes across Russia. In 2017, he was arrested by Russian authorities on charges of espionage.
FSB told me they have always, early in 2016, get the order to catch me someplace.
You think that Anatoly was on your side?
Espionage is a federal crime, isn't it? Do you get life in prison or is it a war crime? I don't think it falls under that. Is it? It might.
Or he was working for the Russians?
Then he working for the Russian, really. He could say something to me in 2016. Frode, don't come back. He could. Frode, don't come to Russia.
Yeah.
They will arrest you. He could do that. But I cannot blame him for that.
Monitoring the border with Russia today, 19-year-old conscripts. They say they rarely interact with their Russian counterparts.
19-year-olds.
Prepared for everything, so it's pretty special like that.
Conscripts.
Right over there, a couple hundred meters is a country that is at an active war in Ukraine. Some people think it's dangerous, and it's
So-
just a reality.
I'm sorry, I know that this is a very serious video, but yesterday we were just watching a video about the conscripts, and it kind of just makes me think. So we were watching Førstegangstjenesten, and I hope they're not similar to those guys, because yesterday we saw someone just cross the border in the last episode into Russia. Oh man, I'm so sorry. Can't help but think of that scene when they said that the conscripts are at the border of Russia. Oh man. The Rus character, what's his name again? Let me know in the chat.
That we have to accept.
They monitor Russia.
Maybe Ahre Ketil will Chetil, right? Will sort things out.
We have to accept.
Sorry guys.
They monitor Russian movements, waiting to see suspicious signs from the other side.
Don't underestimate 19-year-old conscripts
The
though.
Russians are watching us right now. Both sides, of course, are patrolling the border areas at a time of very, very high tension.
Lohengren, the name of the character.
The atmosphere in
Lohengren.
Kirkenes has undergone a seismic change following the Russian annexation of Crimea in 2014 and the full-scale invasion of Ukraine in 2022. Hundreds of
It's been
Russian
3 years?
Many gather at this Soviet memorial, where division over Moscow's war efforts has taken center stage.
It's been
One
3
resident
years.
displayed a flag of Russia's paramilitary group.
It's been 11 years since Crimea,
The
but
PST
3
says
years
those
since
attending events here
Ukraine.
are vulnerable to recruitment.
In general, all ties to Russia impose some risk of being pressured or doing it voluntarily in support of the case.
That's as sanctions on board across.
In fact, Henoik, who is in the chat right now, is one of the people who sent me the first videos about Norwegian special forces and military, which is pretty cool. If you have anything you want to show me, let me know as well.
Things have made it harder for Russian spies to collect information
Schengen
themselves.
We see
border.
some efforts recruiting on social media or crowdsourcing. You can pay a random guy 20 euros to photograph a site that's
20
happened
euros?
in Poland and the Baltics. So they have adapted to the situation.
Natalia is a Russian resident in Kirkenes.
Это фугаска со Второй мировой войны. Была скинута в этом районе, мною немножко отреставрирована и используется под клумбу цветов.
She says
That
there's been an
is so
increase in
Russian.
posts on Russian Telegram and Facebook channels in Kirkenes, asking residents traveling across the border to drop off parcels or letters.
Вот этой вот наивной бабушкой, которая там кому-то помогла, ой-яй-яй, о-ля-ля, понимаешь или нет, а потом я...
Citizens like her regularly travel between Norway and Russia to visit family or bring back products.
Причем, что вода из России.
But since the full-scale war in Ukraine, she's been careful not to draw attention on such trips.
Были какие-то попытки вас использовать?
Слава богу, таких попыток не было. И, возможно, это благодаря тому, что мы тоже начеку, и я не ввязываюсь в какие-то истории. Но есть случаи, когда люди просят помочь. Живут на юге Норвегии, у них нет возможности приехать в Россию, перевести какие-то документы или деньги. Я отказываю.
By the way,
in addition to
has there been an influx of Russians going to Norway? Because after the sanctions, we saw the Russian economy just dip, right? And you know, maybe a lot of Russians decided, you know what, Norway, I'll have a better life, and they just went. You know, let me know.
Suspicious activity online, there's also a distinct strangeness to this town out on the streets. While filming, we had reasons to believe we were under surveillance.
It's just weird.
Something so strange about the way that's parked.
Yeah, we've seen this car on numerous occasions before.
We've been photographed while conducting interviews, and one of our sources was tailed by an unknown man after we met with her.
That's the whole thing about this place. You kind of imagine that you see things sometimes, and then everyone tells you that you need to be on guard because you might be watched. And
maybe they're taking a picture because you're holding a camera, and they're like, hey, the TV is here.
We've also been trying to speak with Russian officials to get their perspective on the situation in Kirkenes.
We haven't received responses to our calls or emails. So I'm just going to walk up and see if I can knock on the door of the consulate, and perhaps we can speak to them. Да, здравствуйте. Я корреспондент газеты Wall Street Journal. Я писал вам имейл и еще звонил, просто хотел узнать, можно ли взять интервью у консула тут.
К сожалению, нет возможности, поэтому пишите на почту, как будет время.
For Johan and his team, combating the actors behind hybrid threats will continue to be a difficult but key focus.
When you're in a border close area, you have to try to frame what you can do something about. I can't do anything about geopolitics, but I try to single out what issues I can handle. And Russia, who knows what Russia's plan is, but I don't see kind of a positive outcome.
Yeah, indeed. So we don't know what Russia is planning. Like right now, I feel like it's the biggest threat to our peace of mind right now is what's going on with all the news, and we're so close to a major disaster. But Hansi was mentioning here in the chat before we started that for many years, Russia and Norway had good relations. I don't know how it is now, but Heroic says, historically, the Russian and Norwegian relationship has been good, despite whatever NATO has thought. The Soviets liberated northern Norway from the Nazis in World War II, so Norwegians have been thankful for that. But that has also cooled in years. Yeah, I mean, they got to keep the relations going, right? You can't just do one thing and then not be supportive after that, right? I guess we saw the shift in countries from World War I to World War II, like different shifts, like literally. But okay, this was an interesting video. If you guys want more educational videos like these ones, I just want to let you guys know I'm here to learn with you guys. So you guys are showing me new stuff, okay? I know the channel says Teacher Paul. I'm not a history teacher, or I'm an English teacher. So we're here to practice our English and our listening. and just check out new things from around the world. With that said, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know in the comments what else I should react to. Click over here for my educational reactions and click over here to request a video. Take care. Bye-bye.